I want to show you today one of the guitar player's best friends, the pentatonic scale. So this scale shows up in all styles of music, all cultures throughout the world. There are only 5 notes. That's where it gets its name from. Pentatonic, penta meaning 5, tonic meaning sound or tone, 5 tones. And I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds today with the theory, okay? Because I want you to enjoy this and have fun with it and play with it, okay? So I'm going to show you the pattern. It goes like this. We'll start up on the high E string, fret 3, play that one note, and then play your open E. So 3 and then open. Good. Come on over to your B string, fret 3, play 3 and open. Alright, now we're going to have a whole bunch of 2s. Come on out to G string, fret 2, 2 open, D string, fret 2, and then open, A string, fret 2, finally E string, fret 3, and open. Okay, so the outer edges, your E strings are 3 and open. So is your B string, and all the stuff in the middle is 2 open. You'll see a printout of a picture of this, or at least in tablature. You'll be able to visualize this, and I want you to visualize this because, like I've said before, the guitar is all about these little shapes and patterns, and we take this pattern and we make music with it. Okay, so this comes up in all kinds of different songs. From kind of chilled out tunes like that to more rockin'. Alright, to classic melodies. Okay, so I just want you to play with this today. These are the notes. Do this with me. We're going to play this descending together, and then we'll play it ascending, and I'll show you how you can put it to use to make some music. Okay, so we're going to play this in time, all right? So come back up to fret 3 of the high E. We'll roll right through it, going, you're going to have a fretted note and then an open note, and we'll descend down this scale, okay? Start up on fret 3. I'll give us a little kind of count in, and we'll take it easy. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, open. 3, open. 2, open. 2, open. 2, open. 3, open. Good. Let's ascend. We'll go up the scale, starting with our open E string. So now we're going to play an open note and then a fretted note, okay, to climb up the scale. So open E, 3, open A, 2, open D, 2, open G, 2, nice, open B, 3, open E, 3. Good. Now I said this was pentatonic, 5 notes, right? Well, there's a heck of a lot more than 5 notes there, right? Well, there are only 5 individual notes. They're just repeated through different octaves, okay? Again, I'm going to try not to get too far into the theory. I have a hard time holding back. If you want, you can study this, okay? We've mapped out the notes on the fretboard. You can see that there are only 5 notes in this thing, okay? So they're there. What I want to show you is how you can improvise little bits of melodies or guitar solos, or even melodies that you'll incorporate in your own songs, okay? So the way we can do this is we have our scale, we have our notes, and we have a bunch of technique that we've developed over several weeks now, okay? And we know a couple chords. I want you to see how a couple of these chords that we know are right inside this scale, okay? If you play an E minor chord, just like that. Okay, you can see all these open strings that are inside that chord are also a part of this scale that we're going over today. So these two things sound good together. E minor chord and this pentatonic scale. So what you can do is you can record a little bit of yourself just strumming on an E minor chord. Or if you have a guitar player friend, they can play this. If you have a looper pedal, you can give yourself a few bars of E minor just looping around. And then you can take this scale and make up your own little guitar riffs and licks. See, add these little hammer-ons in there. You can do some slides if you want to venture outside of the scale. It's a lot of fun, okay? One kind of little rule you can give yourself, just because there are quite a few notes, and sometimes it helps us to give ourselves little kind of rules on what we're going to do when we play some music. You can start your phrases, your licks, your riffs, your music, start on a note that's a part of the chord. Okay, so for example, here's my E minor chord. If I want to create something just on the fly, I'm going to start with a note inside that chord, like this second fret of the D string. I know that note's going to sound good, right? And I can use this scale to travel to another note. Say I want to start here, and I'll end my note up on the high E string. And I'll use this scale to travel and to get there. So you can just imagine this E minor going on in the background. I'll come up with something. See that? Just made that up on the fly, and you can too. Maybe I'll go the other way. I'll start with that high E string. I know that note's inside the chord, right? And the scale. I'll come on down and I'll end on this note. Here we go. Pretty cool, right? It's a lot of fun to do this. So what we can do next is we can change to a different mood. Let's go to a G chord. Here's our G major. Maybe you see that all of the notes in this G major chord fit inside this scale as well, right? We have this fret 3 down here. We got fret 2 here. We've got a couple open strings, open D, open G, right? Fret 3 up here on the B string, fret 3 on the G. They all can work together. Now check this out. Same scale, different chord is going to change the whole vibe of it. Okay, that E minor was a little kind of moody, right? Okay, listen to how it changes when we go to the G chord. And I'll follow that same rule that I gave myself when I was jamming over the E minor. I'm going to start with a note inside the chord, like a G. G is a good note to start with. That's my open G. And I'll just pick a note that I want to end on. Maybe I'll end way down this low G. Okay, and I'll use this scale, and let's see what I come up with. So we've got a G major chord. Feel free to strum along with me too, okay? Here we go. I threw a lot of notes in there, but that was a different sound, wasn't it? It was almost like a happier kind of sound over this G major chord. It's pretty interesting. Right? Very, very cool to experiment and to play with these sounds and come up with your own things. So now you know the pentatonic scale comes up in all kinds of fun rock and roll music. And really, really cool. Okay, for the rest of the lesson, I just want to spend a little bit more time with the capo, okay, because we went over it really briefly, and this is a really great tool for us, okay? So I want to show you a couple more tips with the capo, and we'll bring back that pentatonic scale and play around a little bit. So we're going to take the capo and put it on fret 3. Okay, so whenever you use this thing, you want to try to make sure it's clamped down tight enough, okay, because it's basically doing the same thing that our finger would do. So all the rules that we've learned about producing a good tone, you know, pressing down firmly and also getting as close to the fret as we can, that applies to the capo too. So get it close to the fret that you want to place it on, in this case fret 3, tighten it down, and just strum your open strings to make sure you don't have any buzzes. So you have a buzz right there, okay? I gotta tighten it. Let's try it again. Just check them all. Good. Okay, so now we can play. So I have the capo on fret 3, and I want to play that pentatonic scale because I want to see what it sounds like a little bit higher. So the pentatonic scale, you'll find if you ever listen to wind chimes, I think everybody's heard wind chimes at some point in their life. The wind chimes are tuned to this pentatonic scale. Okay, they're usually there's like 5 tubes, right, and they're clanging against each other, and you get this kind of sound. Has that sort of wind chimey kind of sound, doesn't it? So if we want to use the capo, right, and we talk about fret numbers, quite often we're going to be talking about these fret numbers relative to the capo. Okay, so now we got a capo here. We basically just shorten up our guitar. Okay, so all this stuff is like gone. We're here now, and fret 3 is going to be right here. Okay, so this is fret 1, 2, and 3. So this is how we would find our notes for a pentatonic scale if we have a capo there, or a chord, or anything. Okay, and we can play our other chords that we know. Now, what if you don't have a capo, or what if you want to play this scale without a capo, like we often do? Well, remember, the capo is just taking the place of your finger. Okay, so what you can do to practice some of these pentatonic scales is just place your first finger on the capo, just to kind of get yourself, you know, situated. All right, so I'm pretending like I'm fretting that note, even though the capo is doing the work for me. Okay, and then I'm going to reach up with my pinky now. Got to use your pinky. Okay, up to where that note should be on fret 3. The pentatonic scale. Okay, so I'm going to pretend like I fret this note with my pinky. I'm going to come up, play that next one. I'm going to pretend like I fret this note, and then with my third finger I'll grab that one and I'll continue up the scale. Open D string, fret 2, open G string, fret 2. Looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Open B string, pinky, open E string, pinky. Okay, I'll show you why I'm doing this. I'm going to take the capo off now. Okay, now with my first finger and my pinky, I'll play the scale. Come on over here, first finger, third finger. First finger, third. Keep on going. First finger, pinky. Think of the whole shape of it. Now I can play this scale without a capo, and I can move it wherever I want. Alright, so many great rock songs like Stairway to Heaven, all kinds of tunes use this shape that I'm showing you right now. This is like an introduction into guitar soloing. Okay, so I'm just giving you a quick little overview, and hopefully inspires you to find this scale and move it up the fretboard and just play around with it and have fun with or without a capo. Okay, finally, to close, we have this idea of moving away from the open strings and onto the fretboard. So many students are like, I want to play up here. There's stuff up here, and I want to get up there. We're learning how to do it with the scales, with the capo. I want to show you that we can also move these chords. Okay, so let's start simply. I'm going to show you how we can move the power chords off the open strings, because power chords are fun. You want to play some punk rock music. You want to play some, I don't know, some medieval music. You're going to a Renaissance fair or something. Who knows what you're doing? This is how we take a power chord. Okay, here's our E power chord. All right, just 2 notes, open E and fret 2. Okay, let's pretend again like this is an actual fret with the nut. Let's reach up with our 3rd finger maybe, or your pinky if you can't reach. Make this shape, just like we did with the octaves. Slide the whole shape up. Boom. Now you have an F power chord. Move it up a whole step. Now you have a G power chord. See it? You want to play all that Black Sabbath music? You want to play the Clash, all that kind of stuff? This is how you move your power chords up and around, okay? It's also a really good way if you have a song that says, you know, a B flat or an F sharp. You know your fretboard a little bit better now, right? Find the root note of your chord, drop in a power chord. Okay, you don't have to always play all 6 strings of a chord. You can modify it so you can still play the song. Okay, great. So there's your movable power chords. A lot of fun to play. Endless possibilities of creativity. So nice job. Have fun with this, okay?